and an opposed member will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment strikes $35 million in funding for the Office of Clean Energy Demonstrations. For those unfamiliar with this office, according to its website, it accelerates the market adoption of clean energy technologies and fills a critical innovation gap on the path to 100% clean energy by 2035 and net zero emissions by 2050. I'm going to characterize it a different way. Since the real market, the private market, won't do it, you're going to pay for it under force by your taxes so that you can have less reliable energy as soon as possible and we can be less energy independent. That's what it does, courtesy of your federal government. It funds projects like long-duration energy storage and distributed energy system to support the electric grid for electric vehicles, which are also being subsidized by your federal government under force of penalty of you not paying your taxes. It's astounding that Democrats continue to push this technology when the drawbacks of this so-called clean energy technology are clear. The actual grid is being powered by solar and wind energy sources that are inherently unreliable and don't work when the sun's not shining and the wind's not blowing. Battery technology storage is not there, and of course, most of that, all that stuff that I just talked about comes from China, and oh, by the way, built with slave labor, whether that's in Turkestan or whether that's in the Congo, your tax dollars are supporting it under penalty of law. Try not paying your taxes and see what happens then. Vehicles powered by this grid are built largely using slave labor, like I just talked about, and our reliance on the Communist Party of China, since they control all the necessary components in the mineral supply chains. Not that we don't have them in America. They say they're rare earth minerals. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not rare. We just can't mine them in America because the left doesn't allow that, so now we got to buy them from China. That's another story. Vehicles powered by this grid are built by largely, like I said, using the slave labor and the supply chains that go with them. These vehicles have limited range. Their lithium batteries often catch fire, and those fires are more difficult to extinguish than traditional fires. This office that I'm talking about is also managing $2.5 billion for carbon capture facilities and greenhouse gas monitoring technology. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Speaker, these technologies were so great. Why isn't the market already adopting and innovating without taxpayer-funded handouts? My friends on the other side of the aisle will tell you these are critical investments, and they're not going to happen if the federal government doesn't do them. If we don't take your tax dollars and spend it on this, it ain't going to happen. My goodness. Thank goodness that this country didn't become the greatest country on the planet without the federal government subsidizing all this stuff. I don't know how Thomas Edison would have made it. I don't know how Ford Motor Company would have made it without the federal government. Somehow they did it, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate that the chairman did not approve additional fund for these clean demonstration projects, but my amendment strikes all the funds for this office. I urge support, and I reserve the balance.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania reserves. Gentleman from Tennessee is for what purpose does the gentleman from Tennessee arise?
Mr. Chairman, I rise to oppose the amendment.
Gentleman from Tennessee is recognized.
I thank my good friend from Pennsylvania, Mr. Perry, for filing this, but I must respectfully oppose the amendment. The Office of Clean Energy Demonstrations is primarily responsible for implementing and managing over $21 billion provided by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. I'm keenly aware of the scale of that sum of money and the importance of our oversight responsibility to ensure taxpayer funds are correctly administered. That's exactly why the House bill includes no funding, and I repeat, no funding for the office to conduct new demonstrations, and instead only includes funding for program direction for staff to provide project management oversight. My colleague's amendment would eliminate that function, preventing the office from ensuring that our taxpayer dollars are being used effectively and efficiently. that would directly impact the success of important programs within the office's jurisdiction, like the Advanced Reactor Demonstration Program. The Advanced Reactor Demonstration Program enjoys strong bipartisan support. The program is essential to the deployment of advanced reactors, ensuring our nation's energy security and regaining U.S. leadership in nuclear energy. We can't abandon our oversight responsibilities and risk the success of programs like these. For these reasons, I must respectfully oppose the amendment and urge my colleagues to do the same. I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from recognition?
I seek no time.
I'm sorry. Gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Certainly respect the good gentleman from Tennessee, and I thank him for the time. I don't know, it seems like a lot of money still remaining for project management oversight. That doesn't seem to be billions of dollars worth of spending to me, maybe millions, but not billions. And as far as advanced reactor research, I'm proud to say that in the district that I represent, some of the fusion reactor research that's being done in France is being produced in the district I represent, which is awesome. But we don't need to be paying for it. France is paying for it, and we're providing some expertise and some material. And oh, by the way, the good gentleman from Tennessee, much of the home of nuclear fission and nuclear energy in the United States of America, God bless America, I think it's awesome. But when have we built a nuclear reactor in the United States of America? I know the district that I represent just shut one down. Just shut one down. So we're paying for all this research. Tell me where it ends. What does it provide? What does it produce? It hasn't produced anything. If it was building nuclear reactors, maybe I could see it, but it seems to me we're paying for them and then putting the research on the shelf, or worse yet, giving it to France. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what it costs. It ought to end. I urge adoption, and I yield the balance.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Tennessee is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields. The question is then on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Pennsylvania. Those in favor say aye. Those in favor, opposed say no. Opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to.
Mr. Chairman, I request a recorded vote.
Pursuant to Clause 6 of Rule 18, further proceedings on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Pennsylvania will be postponed. Did I screw something up? Okay. Now, in order to consider amendment number 20, printed in part of House Report 118-242, for what purpose does the